Calibrating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to another episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold. Welcome to the show. Glad y'all could tune in. Yeah, before I go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. Boom. Also, AT is where it's at on most forms of social media, so make sure you follow me for all my social media updates and all that fun stuff. Yeah, so as you guys know how we do over here in Trippin with Theobold Studios, we got to get started with the tongue twisties to get the brain and the tongue coordinated so there'll be less trippage on the show. So, boom, let's get to it. So today's topic has to do with a word that has the G sound, the G sound. So let's go ahead and start off with the tongue twisties. So the letter G. Tongue twisty one. Here we go. Boom. Gregory Grumble grew great Greek green grapes. I'm just making stuff up at this point. I don't even know how I did that. Here we go. Let's do it again. Gregory Grumble grew great green Greek grapes. Last time. Gregory Grumble grew great green Greek grapes. Number 2. Gus the groundhog gathered goodies from Gail's garden. Gus the groundhog gathered goodies from Gail's garden. And last time, Gus the groundhog gathered goodies from Gail's garden. Last tongue twisty. Greta Gruber grabbed a group of green grapes. Again. Greta Gruber grabbed a group of green grapes. And last time, Greta Gruber grabbed a group of green grapes. And yay, tongue twisters are done. All that's done. Also, I gotta say shout out to one of my friends. My friend Kev hooked me up with this or with these. What do y'all see here, huh? Yeah, I got my Trippin with Theobold mug. I got a couple of them. You know, but this is a prototype mug. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be more that come out in the future. But yeah, I'm gonna start selling these pretty soon. So yeah, we official, you know? Like all major TV shows or like talk shows have like their own mug, you know what I'm saying? So this is a Trippin with Theobold production. So I got my mug now. You know, we cooking. All right, enough talking. Enough messing around. Let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So today's topic is, can Pat Mahomes ever be GOAT over Brady? If you don't know what GOAT is, I don't know what planet you're on, but GOAT is greatest of all time. So can Pat Mahomes ever be the GOAT over Tom Brady? So the way this conversation or the way this topic kind of came about was it came out because of how should I put it? I responded to an Instagram post from DraftKings and they were comparing Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady. And my comment basically, how should I put it? It ruffled some feathers, you know? I believe I said something along the lines of since Pat Mahomes lost to Brady in the Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes can only be Little Goat or Goat Jr., you know? And then a lot of people agree, a lot of people disagree, So we're gonna get into it. All right. So let me just start off, right? So my thing is this, right? If once you have reached a certain level of greatness, and once you're there, it's like it's like you either have to maintain that or you have to beat whoever is on their way out that was the GOAT before you. So for example, Pat Mahomes, right? He won a Super Bowl and he was the MVP of that Super Bowl before he played Brady, when Brady was on the Bucks. And to me, that was his one opportunity to kind of turn the page and say, nah, I'm the GOAT now. And we gotta say too, right? It's a team game, all those factors kind of play into it. But just speaking or just talking just from an optic standpoint, to me, Pat Mahomes winning the Super Bowl and getting the MVP before playing Brady in the Super Bowl, to me, it's like, that's what the legacy is. If he here's the thing, right? If Pat Mahomes didn't win a Super Bowl and didn't get the MVP before he played Brady and lost, I would say that Mahomes has a better shot of becoming the GOAT after that, even better than Brady, because he didn't figure it out yet. You know what I'm saying? But he figured something out to where he got the MVP and he got the Super Bowl. So to me, once you're on that level, once you're on that platform, you have to either maintain that while the GOAT is still playing, or you have to maintain that while the current GOAT is still playing, or you have to beat the current GOAT on the way out. All right. Then all these people had all these different comments, man. It was funny, man. People were like, well, Tom Brady lost to Eli Manning twice in the Super Bowl. So is Eli Manning the GOAT? I mean, people can make up whatever argument they want to make up. Here's the thing, right? I'm not defending Brady. Like, me personally, I like Pat Mahomes more than I like Brady. I'm just trying to be fair about the shit, But when you look at it, Eli Manning wasn't a great regular season quarterback. Like he was never a great regular season quarterback. He was probably average at best during the regular season. He just had 2 games in the Super Bowl where he showed up specifically for Brady. And then also you got the helmet catch. I mean, you got to count that, but the helmet catch is whatever. A win is a win, right? So my thing is this, man, is like you have to be beast. Here's the thing. If Eli Manning put up Peyton Manning regular season stats and beat Tom Brady twice, I'd be like, yo, hands down, okay, yeah, nah, Eli Manning. I wouldn't say Eli Manning is the GOAT, but that to me would discredit Brady from being the GOAT, because here it is, you had a regular season quarterback that was whooping ass all regular seasons and has superior regular season stats, and he's 2-0 in the Super Bowl and beat you twice and got the MVP. That to me would just say, you know what? Eli Manning to me would be better than Brady in that case. In that specific case, but that's not the case, Eli was average at best in the regular season, and then balled out in the Super Bowl, or the playoffs too. So to me, it's like you would have to combine Eli and Peyton's career to even say that, Eli was better than Brady. But here's the thing too, man. The term GOAT, man, this shit is, I never really liked the term GOAT, because it's like you have to, it's like basically GOAT is an argument that you can't really win, right? So if you're comparing people from different generations, you're not supposed to be able to prove it. It's just really it's just an end going argument, right? But my thing is this, right? Is to me, Brady, I wouldn't put him in the GOAT cat. I mean, he is a GOAT, but of all the NFL, no, because to me, the NFL now is a whole different sport than what it was like in the 90s, in the early 90s and before, or I would just say even before the 90s. You know, it's a whole different game. It's a different game. You know, now they really protect the quarterback. You can't do certain things. And if you go back and so I know a lot of you right. I know a lot of y'all right now are like, yo, Dre, what the hell are you talking about? You talking crazy talk. You know, do yourself a favor. Go back and watch old Doug Williams highlights, or just watch any quarterback from that era and just watch these motherfuckers is getting tackled out of bounds. Like, it's not even a push. It's like they're getting tackled while they're like on the bench. You know what I mean? And that's how people get hurt. So to me, it's like that just changes up the whole game. It changes everything up, you know? And it's my personal belief that if you put Tom Brady in the same era as Dan Marino, you know, I don't think you really hear from Brady like that, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it's because Brady's bad. It's just a different game. It was played different, right? Like Brady's game is the evolution of the West Coast offense. You know, it's the evolution of it, right? Of being able to get the ball out quick, right? So if you took Brady back with how Brady played during his prime, and you put him back like in the 80s or like before the 90s, all that quick throw shit, that wasn't how football was played. You know what I mean? Now, if you had receivers with a similar mindset and coaches with a similar mindset, maybe that's a different argument. But just based off of just we're taking Brady and placing him in this era, I don't think he does that well. That's just my opinion, you know? But on the flip side, if you take Dan Marino, and if you guys know, I'm like a huge, can't stand the Dolphins, you know? But if you take Dan Marino and put Dan Marino in Brady's era, Dan Marino's carving everything up, man. I mean, Dan Marino, even though he didn't win shit like that back in his day, you know, or wasn't as winning as Brady was, man, Dan Marino was carving people up, man, with bums. He had bums for receivers, man, and was like just leading like the league in like yards and passing and touchdowns, man. So to me, I would say that Brady is the GOAT of the modern era football, meaning like, you know, late 90s to now. I would say he's the GOAT. But then before like 90, like mid 90s and before, nah, that's even more debatable, you know? I mean, if we're going by wins, you gotta consider, you know, Troy Aikman. But then if you look at stats and you look at, you know, rosters and who had who, you know, that goes into play. So anyways, Brady is the GOAT of, to me, mid 90s late 90s and to now, Brady's the GOAT. But like late 90s and before, that to me is like, you know, that's up for debate. So to me, with this whole, so back to the question at hand, you know, can Pat Mahomes ever be the GOAT over Brady? And to me, this is like the exact definition of GOAT, right? If you, like theoretically, when you have GOATs that play each other, or when you're comparing two GOATs, right? Basically, the whole thing is like hypothetically could, you know, this person beat that person? You know, could this person beat that person? You know, that's basically what it all, like, not like what it all boils down to, you know? And that's basically what it boils down to. Can this person beat this? Can this person beat that person? And then they had the opportunity to meet up. It wasn't like they didn't have the opportunity. So now we have to get into, you know, who was in their prime and who wasn't, you know? So to me, I would say that Mahomes was more in his prime than Brady was out of his prime, you know? So to me, it's like the fact that, and here's the thing, it wasn't just that Brady won. I mean, Brady also had a stacked team, but I don't care. Like, you know, when it comes to GOAT conversations, teams like don't matter, yo. It's like if you have the opportunity to beat the GOAT, you have to beat the current GOAT. Like you have to do it, you know? That to me is my definition of GOAT. I have very strict standards and very strict definitions of GOAT, you know? So to me, it's like very hard to say, you know, it was like, what would Mahomes, so the question is, what would Mahomes have to do to be GOAT over Brady? And then people were like, yo, okay, well, here's the thing. If he won a Super Bowl from if he won a Super Bowl from, you know, if he just didn't lose a Super Bowl anymore, if he won the Super Bowl every year and got MVP until he retired, given that he plays like another 10 years, I would say that, okay, we ain't never seen this before. He basically went on this huge streak where he just won and just couldn't be beat. Right? I would say that on his way out, he would have to, and here's the cherry on top, right? Here's the kicker. He would have to, on his way out, he would have to be like Brady's age, if not older. And he would have to beat whoever people are saying is going to be the GOAT next, you know? So like I said, I have my own, I don't even like GOAT talk, to be honest with you. It's just people can make up and say whatever they want to say, but I'm trying to be fair about it, you know? My whole standpoint is, if we know someone is being called the GOAT or the greatest of all time, and everyone is anticipating that you're going to be the next GOAT coming up, to be the GOAT, you have to beat the GOAT, right? That's just how this shit works. It's like boxing, right? Like if you want to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. You can't lose to the champ and then be called the champ, you know? To me, that's the same rules, same logic. Right? So, and then on top of that, it's like if you never beat him. So I kind of take my last statement back. You know, even if Mahomes did something crazy and won all them chips or whatever, it's like, I don't know if I could even call him the GOAT after that, man. I don't know. Like I said, like, I don't know, you know? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say, to me, he can be one of the greatest to ever play, but to be the greatest of all time, that means that you have to, if you have the opportunity or the chance to beat the greatest of all time, you have to beat the greatest of all time on the championship stage. If you don't do that, you're not GOAT. And that's not a bad thing. It's just how I look at it, you know? So he could win 11 Super Bowls straight, get MVP for all them Super Bowls, but the fact that he couldn't beat Brady when Brady was the GOAT, and Mahomes proved that, you know, he could be the GOAT by winning a championship and getting an MVP, that to me just says that he's not the GOAT, you know? That's my opinion. What are your thoughts? I already know what some of y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy or y'all gonna think I'm stupid, but I don't give a shit. You know, that's my opinion, you know? It just is what it is, man. You know, like to me, it's all about when you enter GOATdom, right? If that makes sense, right? Once you enter GOATdom, it's like you can't lose to another GOAT, right? You can't lose to another GOAT and be called the GOAT. Once you've entered that realm, it's like you got to, if another GOAT comes up, you got to win that shit. Right? So maybe this, so yeah, so I like that name, When Goats Collide. Maybe not, that's a weird name. But that's just my thought, man. You know, once you enter GOATdom, and I think once you win a Super Bowl and an MVP, I think that basically puts you in the realm it doesn't make you a GOAT, but it basically primes you for the opportunity to, it primes you for the opportunity to be in the GOAT category once you beat the GOAT or once you play against the GOAT. How about that? You know, end of the day, Pat Mahomes is nice. He's dope, right? A lot of people already kind of can't stand him, you know what I'm saying? Because he's winning so much. But that's just my that's just my 2 cents on it. You know, yeah, so what are your thoughts? Put it in the comment section. Let me know. I want to hear. You know, I want to hear some logic. You know, I don't want to hear things. I don't really care about. I mean, you can say anything you want to say. If you want to talk stats. But to me, it's all about, you know, if you have the opportunity to face off against the GOAT and you're being considered to be the next GOAT and you don't beat the GOAT, to me, it's like you can never be the GOAT because you didn't beat the GOAT, right? If you want to be the GOAT, you got to beat the GOAT. And he ain't beat the GOAT. So that's what it is. All right. AT is where it's at on most forms of social media. Make sure you guys follow me. Also, AT is where it's at on most forms of social media. So make sure you follow me. And without further ado, I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Trippin with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin. Yep. Trippin. Trippin. Trippin with Theobold.
Trippin with Theobold.